All right, and you guys can't stop asking questions about using artificial intelligence, and we're following your clicks and curiosity. Looks like you guys want to know how it could help in the classroom and the challenges that could come with it. So let's break it down. We've got Amanda Bickerstaff up first, then Kate Conroy. Y'all, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with some students and teachers embracing the use of AI. We've got the CEO and co-founder of AI for Education, Amanda Bickerstaff. Really appreciate you being here, Amanda. You're a former high school biology teacher. What led you to co-create AI for education?
Well, it's really interesting. I started AI for Education the first time I ever used ChatGPT. I realized as a former teacher, but also an ed tech CEO, this was a transformative technology we've been talking about for a long time. But I also realized that it is really not intuitive. And if you didn't have genuine AI literacy training, you wouldn't know how to use these tools in safe and responsible ways.
Yeah, how do you make sure it's responsible? I mean, your companies help school and educators nationwide actually maximize what you say is responsible and equitable adoption of AI. What does that actually mean and look like?
Well, for us, I think Gen AI literacy is all about informed decision making. And the first decision should be, should I even use this tool? Because I think right now what we're seeing is that if it's used as a reflex or something you always turn to, it actually can impact learning or even professional judgment. So what we want people to feel comfortable is being able to be in charge of their own use. And then when they start using these tools, can they do that in a way that keeps their privacy safe, that keeps their ethical mindset? Are you being academically integral? But also, are you using it in a way that's truly valuable?
Yeah, Amanda, this feels like a topic that's dividing so many people,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like AI is going anywhere. What are your response to concerns that AI is crippling the academic career progress of students who depend on it? Like, how do we draw the line, and how do you actually get people to come to the table here?
Well, I think the first thing we always find is if we actually talk about what's really happening, we know we have to address this. A new Common Sense Media report said that 85% of 9 to 17-year-olds are using generative AI for schoolwork. And then if you look at what's happening in schools, less than a third of those students have received any AI training and even anything on safety. And so I think the first thing is we have to acknowledge that this is not going away. But our young people are on their own, which I think we learn with social media and other digital literacies, is that you have to really address this. Otherwise, how could you expect a young person to be responsible?
Yeah, Amanda, for educators who may be on the fence about using AI in the classroom because of issues like cheating, plagiarism, and subject literacy, what do you say to actually ease their concerns? Is there sort of a one-size-fits-all argument?
Well, I think the first thing is that we need to understand how these tools work and start building critical distrust, but also understand that it can have value. So young people that learn how to use these tools really effectively and with safety in mind can start to do things that were impossible before. You can build study tools that are bespoke for you. We even have young people designing their own companies at a really young age and vibe coding and building the things they've always wanted to. And I think one of the things about equity is that every student's going to have a tutor or a parent at home. And if they are learning how to use these tools with the right type of support, especially in high school and college, to help them kind of lower that gap between where they can be and where they are and where they can be, I think is a really important conversation. But we do know that academic integrity is the primary issue that teachers are seeing. And so it has to be a conversation, and there needs to be a discussion about how do we shift practice to start to preserve cognition. But also, I mean, we have to meet our kids halfway.
No, it definitely makes a lot of sense, and it really does feel like these school systems are drinking through a fire hose when it comes to keeping up with the technology. Amanda Bickerstaff, thank you so much. Let's bring in Philadelphia high school teacher Kate Conroy. Kate, thank you so much for joining us. You're not in favor of AI in classrooms. Explain to us why.
Thank you, Ashen. So yes, we have a loneliness epidemic here in America, and we have a mental health crisis amongst teenagers. Kids are begging for human connection and authenticity, and to put them behind screens is to remove opportunities for them to have social development and also for joy. And now I'm a young millennial, so I love a good meme as much as anyone else, but we all know that laughing at a meme on our phone is not the same thing as sharing a joke with our friends and family. And I really believe that all of our students deserve that kind of social, communal, joyful experience in the classroom.
Yeah, Kate, no, and I totally hear you, but we both know that screens have become an integral part of the classroom experience, and now AI is becoming embedded into our culture and workforce. Should students be learning and adapting to this technology, or is it just kind of like we should put it away until a certain point where they're ready in your mind?
Well, I don't see any scenario in which AI is appropriate for high school. I teach 12th grade English, so I am very, very focused on what kind of skills my students will need in their next phase of life. But I'm not really interested in this argument that students will be left out of the job market if they're not playing with ChatGPT in high school. What all young people need are social skills and confidence in their own ideas. And if we're encouraging students to use AI even as a thought partner, I think the message we're sending to students is that their own ideas aren't good enough. And I don't think any teacher really wants to send that message to their students.
Yeah, I totally hear you. So what are you hearing from students, Kate, firsthand about this technology? Are you seeing them sort of embrace this tech, or are they kind of eager to unplug? Like, from where you sit, what's it like on the day-to-day?
Well, teenagers, just like adults, they have a variety of opinions. And even though AI is banned from my class, it is definitely a frequent topic of discussion. Many of my teenagers are very vocal about their dislike and distrust of AI. They know that people of all ages are using AI in place of their brains, and they're really concerned about coming of age in this world where it's so easy to just stop thinking. They're concerned about not just their own futures, not just their own economic prospects, but also about democracy and the impact this could have on safety in the world.
Yeah, for sure. So, Kate, what do we do about all this? I mean, as a high school teacher, how do you actually plan to regulate the use of artificial intelligence by students in your class? And does it ever feel like it's too little too late?
I think that the best way is to focus on learning in the classroom and the communal experience of learning together. My students produce works on paper that absolutely knock the wind out of me. They make me laugh so hard that I cry in discussion. And it's really important because teachers are really burning out in the workplace, and we already have a teacher shortage. And I think if we can focus more on the joyful experience of learning, both for the adults and the students in the classroom, we can all have a much better experience of education in America.
Kate Conroy, thank you so much for joining us and appreciate the work you're doing. Have a good last couple of weeks before you get back to school.